and welcome to Marketing Mondays with Maria. I am your host, Maria, and one sentence about me just for context. I'm the founding marketer at Magic Design, and what we do is we let you subscribe to a graphic design team to get your design tasks done in under 48 hours. And my guest today is Ilze, fellow Notion ambassador and founder of Not Scheduled, a social media content marketing agency for B2B SaaS businesses. And I'm super happy to have her here because I've been following her content on LinkedIn for months, and I'm always super amazed by how much I can learn from every single one of her posts, and she's a huge inspiration to me. And I cannot wait for us to learn from her today together. So, Ilze, could you please say a few words about yourself, who you are, and what you do, just to give people watching and listening some more context?
Awesome. Thank you, Maria, for the introduction and invitation. And I have a little story about the name of my company, Not Scheduled, and maybe it also explains better what we do with my team. So it's not scheduled because social media requires that we are social. And a lot of people want to have good content and then they run away, but they don't want to have this social part. So this is our main philosophy that we base our content creation. And we are a small team based in Latvia, but we also have, I work with internationals, and I think it's amazing to find cool brands to work with that want to have better content, both on LinkedIn and other social media platforms, and want to be different. And that's what we do. We help to bring out their brands and show it to the world.
That's amazing what you do, and very much looking forward to learning more how you create the content, because today we want to talk about creating valuable and converting content, focusing on LinkedIn as a platform of choice, and creating content also both for the company profile but also for your personal brands. So if you're a marketer, that would be your own personal brand, or for example the CEO's brand if you decide to support the CEO with content creation. And Ilze will share with us how she helps her clients create strategic content that gets them new customers, new leads, which is, what we all want to get if we're posting on LinkedIn. I guess that's the ultimate goal. And how to not create more noise, but create more value for your audience, which I think is also another thing that is very relevant nowadays. But so Ilze, you hop on a call with a new client and they tell you, we need more leads from LinkedIn. I've been posting for months and months and months, and I only see crickets. What do I do? Please help me, please. How do you go about this? What do you tell them?
So first of all, I would check the overall look of the profile if I understand what the person is doing, because a lot of times people just want to stuff their profiles or rather not say anything about themselves. And there is this problem that your LinkedIn profile or any other social media platform is like your landing page. And if a person lands there and they then cannot understand what you're doing, they want to leave, or they don't want to later check what is in your website or what kind of content you're creating. So they just leave. We have those 3 seconds, right? Mm-hmm. The same if somebody visits your website. The second thing, I'm checking what kind of content the person is creating. A lot of times I see that it may be something shared, nothing original from the person itself. Also, if the person is social and engaging with other people, because we all want to receive this love and attention from other people. But then I don't know what happens in our brain is that we post and we just leave and we ghost. So how will you receive the love if you're not giving the love or appreciation or comments to other people? And those would be, the 2 biggest, or maybe there are already 3 biggest mistakes. Mm-hmm. Also the content, of course matters, because the same, if you put everything in the profile, what you're doing, where you were studying and how amazing you are, and you try to squeeze it also in your posts, that could be maybe a book, then there is also this mismatch because people just don't want to read it. It's too much.
I think in social media, it's just so important to have this mindset of I give, and then I might get something in return. And the instinct, maybe initial instinct for many is, okay, I have the service and I want to talk about the service all the time so that people know about it and so that people, buy from me. But of course, you first
and then
need
there
to...
are those sales posts. Yes. Sell. And people don't tell or show how they differ or what kind of value they bring to their clients or what are their clients' problems. It's sort of like they are gatekeeping the information. I don't know, maybe because people are scared to show their knowledge or they just don't know how to do it. And then they need this little nudge from our side to switch the mindset, how to think about content creation.
Have people approached you also with saying, okay, I'm afraid to share so much value on the internet because people will not buy from me if I share too much of what we do and how we do it? Has that been an issue? Because, I don't know, I've heard from my conversations with other marketers that they're afraid, okay, if I give everything I know, what will people come to me for?
Yes, I have had this question, and the answer is that it depends what you're selling. So everyone can find all the information on Google now with AI. All the knowledge is out there, but what people want help with is the service or the hand holding. And you can show that you know stuff by sharing. And from my experience and what I have seen with my clients, that the more you share and show your expertise, the better for you, because then people will be sort of sticking more to you and your brand and will be willing to talk with you.
And related to that also, maybe how do you then decide, okay, what do I post about as a marketer? Like, how do I even go about, okay, there are so many things I could talk about. Then if it's not only my service or my product, where do I even start?
We follow the system, TOFU MOFU BOFU, the content marketing funnel. It's perfect also for content creation. It gives the sense how you should split the content. And I will explain everything. So TOFU is top of the funnel content that you can use for making yourself relevant to your audience. Those can be personal announcements. It can be something that you share as a founder. Let's take the example of a marketer. You can say how amazing it is working at this company and how much you have achieved in the last month. And these are the campaigns that you did. And it's something that comes out from you and it's very personal. You can tie it to your expertise and experience and show your personality. And if people will see you, your picture, you working somewhere, you doing something, that will be a very liked content, and that's why it's on the top of the funnel, and the funnel looks like a triangle like this. So this takes the biggest part of the triangle. Then the next step is MOFU content, middle of the funnel, and that's my favorite part because then it means that you share with this value, you share with something that other people don't know, and you put it through the lens of yourself. Let's say that you work with, you have this very specific niche. I'm thinking of my customers who I could use as an example, but like a specific niche that you work with early startups. So you know their problems in the very early stages, and you can teach them or show them like how to make design or how to think about making a MVP through that content. So it's very specific to this part of the audience. So it also in this content funnel, it is narrower, but you have to include it. And then the third step is BOFU content that is bottom of the funnel, where you are selling yourself. It will differ, of course. If you're a marketer, then I would say that you can share your company's update, like we have a discount or we have this special offer, and also let it through your lens, like through your personality, because I think it's also a big problem, both from personal accounts and also company accounts, that people are scared to be themselves. They are hiding behind the graphics and logos, and just try to to create content that if somebody posted this sales post and you would be like, oh my God, I want this. And just to think about it, how you could create it. And the best way to do it is storytelling. Why it's important for you to sell this or for other people to buy it.
Storytelling is also something I've been, trying to incorporate a lot into my content. And I think one thing maybe also other people struggle with, I definitely do, is how do I also incorporate storytelling into the company's account? Because of course, we're also publishing content, personal brand first, like focusing on personal brands and then incorporating storytelling into the post as much as we can. Maybe you can also give us some tips about that, because if you want to, promote, or talk about, something, the marketing funnel, how do you incorporate your own story into it and your, the storytelling into this? Sometimes it can feel a bit forced, at least to me. But also, are there any differences between the personal brand content and the company page content? How do you decide what to post where and how to approach it, how to make the company page content also engaging, even though it's a company posting? Maybe you have some.
Oh, this is a very good question. And I feel that there are many questions inside this one big one. But I will start with the 2 tips that I can give to people, to anyone. So one is that you need to collect the stories. You think about, you build it like a muscle that there was this customer that told me this very weird thing or asked me this weird question, or there was this case where we saved the customer in 24 hours or whatever. Write down those stories, because later you can put it in the content. And the more you will, if you will start to collect them, then it will be easier later to come up with those ideas in general. And then the second part is that asking questions and interviewing people. So let's say somebody from your company is going for a conference, and I presume a lot of marketers have this pain that, oh my God, yet another conference, and we need to make this post that we are going there, and then we need to make this post that we were there. And it's a struggle to come up with a different concept every time. So if you're lazy or you lack inspiration, then it will be like a templatized thing. We went there, we were there. And it's kind of boring, and I'm sorry. But what you can add is that ask the people that went there, what was amazing that happened there? What kind of question somebody asked you? What accidental happened? I don't know. It could be that you left the main leaflets in the airport or something, but it will make it all sound interesting if you put it in the post. And let's say you left those leaflets in the airport, later you take the picture with them and you are in this conference and you say that you were there and we have those leaflets and we could give to clients and they were super happy to see this and that and that. So it's you incorporate the story in the post, and suddenly the conference post becomes more interesting.
Definitely more interesting than just announcing that you're going to a conference, because it doesn't really provide much value to the reader other than, oh, there is a conference. It's too late for me to sign up. That's a value that they get out of it probably. So, really thinking about, am I teaching something? Am I entertaining? I like to think also of it as breaking up my content into educational, entertaining, engaging, and inspiring. So kind of both the TOFU MOFU BOFU framework, plus asking myself with every post, is it doing the job? Is it entertaining, engaging? Is it doing both? And for the example that you also gave for, with the leaflets and storytelling, I think that's also really amazing. For example, I also went to a conference once, or an event, and I did a day in a life video. That is another example of making it engaging for the viewer, coming onto this journey with you. So you take them with you. You don't just say you're going and leave them behind. right?
Yeah, that's a very good example. I think a lot of people can get really good ideas if they check what others are doing on Instagram. That's actually my little secret that I'm checking what's going on Instagram. Maybe I should also spend more time on TikTok. But because people are very creative there, and if you can bring this creativity also on LinkedIn, because a lot of companies have this stiffness or they don't know what to post, and the source can be Instagram, like this vlogging. That's amazing example.
I also like checking in on like high performing content on Instagram, and then you can always adapt it to other platforms, because I think good content is good content. Like, it's why it performs well is because it's engaging or educational or something in that realm. So yeah, great point.
Yeah, and to add more about what you just said about inspirational, engaging, and kind of like a sales post, the same idea can be presented in different ways. So the same example about the leaflets could be that we entertain the people. That would be the easiest one, where maybe there's a post about the leaflets and then you're jumping, so it's very entertaining. Then there could be educational, that what is written in the leaflets, maybe like a different perspective. And the perspective of sales could be that, I don't know, maybe this leaflet has a digital version and you're so proud of the leaflet or the brochure that people can download it, and it's like a sales post. And the same topic, just different ways how you can express the idea.
Creativity is the common theme among, like, when we're discussing content. The easy route is, to go with the templatized approach, but that might not bring you the results that you're hoping for. I think if you're writing, you want to stand out on LinkedIn, you want to make your potential customers aware of you and to trust you and to relate to you. And I think, yeah, trying to be creative.
And there is also one more drawback, that your employees will not be willing to like the post. And last week I got some interesting questions, like we are creating this content. Actually, as in the beginning, you asked me, we are creating this content, but there are the crickets. And also with company pages happens something similar, that we are creating content. We are telling everyone in the town hall meetings that you should be sharing and liking and commenting, and people just are not doing it, your employees. And the problem is that you're like pushing them to like something that they may not like themselves. They will not say it. And people want to share with information so that they would be looking good, like I am sharing either something smart or something funny. Yeah. And those that are creating content should be thinking, like, also from the perspective, if it makes other people look good, if they would like to spread this information somewhere else in their networks.
It's not a sustainable strategy to force your employees to like the posts. You want people to engage because they want to engage, because they get something out of it, because they are just really liking this post as well. So, but I guess it will come if you create content that you enjoy creating, that has a reason and that has a strategy, right? So it will come.
Yeah, it will come. Yeah, just a little bit of the personality in the content, like show your people. Then maybe a little bit of out of the box thinking. Oh, and one thing I forgot to tell, and it's a very good, like it's the base, I think, for everything. So I always tell my clients and everyone who has a chat with me, who are your competitors? Did you check what they are doing? Because you can get so much information out of it. Like, are they looking good? Do they have engagement? What are they doing something amazingly that you could copy and adapt to your needs? And then it also helps to see those gaps and niches where you could add yourself there. So I have a client right now that is a beauty brand, and it's a specific niche because it's B2B beauty brand. They help other brands to get really good cosmetics and formulas and packaging. They are like one-stop shop for the big brands. And we did the analysis, and we could see that most of the time, what other such B2B beauty brands are doing, they're just sharing, buy this, we went to conference. Buy this, we went to conference. And we saw this opportunity, and also it aligned with the CEO and the founder. She wanted to educate people. And we are, like, I would say, totally different right now from the rest of the competitors that are just saying conference and buy by providing this middle of the content, middle of the funnel content that we are making ourselves different and educate the client.
What are maybe some examples of the content that they're posting now that are middle of funnel? Because I think it's in the beginning, it's kind of hard to, differentiate or decide what is top of funnel, what is middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. The first time you're, confronted with these terms.
So let's take, they have a lot of products that they are offering, and we needed to push brand awareness, especially that it's a brand new account. And so there is a product, freckle pens, and we wanted to make this carousel very fun, like the top of the funnel, that a lot of people would like it. And we found that there is a trend on TikTok that girls use broccoli to make freckles on the face. So we compared the product with the broccoli, and it's fun to see why a freckle pen would be better choice than a broccoli on your face. So there was a TOFU. Then for MOFU, we took another product that we wanted to show how it differs in the market of brush products. And so it's like a comparison carousel, but it's already like showing and teaching and educating the audience. And if we can tie it with the trends, because it's very important for the industry, so it makes it educational and convincing that, see, people on TikTok like it. See, the interest in Google Trends has been rising. So this is a very good product. And because the easiest part would be just to create a product like this, the post of BOFU, that is the sales post, like, we have product and contact us and buy.
Yeah. So that would be the BOFU one where you actually just say, okay, this is a product, buy it, but you've been building up to this with other posts, right?
Yeah, and there is one trick that I can share with people that, let's say you want to create a sales post, but add the visual that is like a TOFU based. As an example, so you can tell what your services or product is, but later add a picture that a lot of people would like it, like your selfie, or maybe something funny. So the text sells, but the picture doesn't. And there is this smart moment that will happen, or you will be liked by the algorithm, and algorithm is the people. So people are pressing likes for your selfie, but the text, and if they start reading, it's maybe the hook is very light, but later you're selling and you are getting that the post is lifting up and more people can see it. Yeah, that's a very good trick that you can try.
Learning a lot. I think I saw a similar strategy also with like memes, like posting a meme or like you said, something funny, and then but then turns out you're actually like announcing this event that people have to book tickets for. So an example. Yeah, really cool.
Memes are only problem is that you should check if it goes with your brand and with your legal team. So what I have tested both on myself and clients, that some brands are not successful with memes. They have, they need something different. So it's like, if you see somebody going viral with a meme content and you want to try, and that's why you will do it yourself, it could be that it just doesn't suit you or your brand. And then there are other ways how you can show your personality. And if not memes, then your people. Yeah, because showing people it's like the best that you can do. And if you have somebody that is like your ambassador, then please use them, because they are so relatable, so funny. They want to show their face next to your brand, and they are really passionate. And what happens is that other colleagues, other friends, partners, clients are liking those posts. And later they are like, okay, I want to talk with Chris because he was telling about this device. Or if Chris is going to sales meetings or conferences, later people that saw Chris, they will go to him because they associate the brand with the person. It's a win-win.
Yeah, totally. But related to that, actually, I have a question for you, because I used to work for a company where I wanted to create more like personal content, and also like using my own face for our Instagram, you know, for like the trends and everything. But they were worried that I was a working student back then, so I would go one day, probably leave the company and move on to something else. So they were worried that if the brand gets associated with me and I leave, then everything that they have built basically will crumble, which I wouldn't say would be the case. My idea was that we need person-focused content, we need personal content, and I volunteer to do it. From a good place in my heart, not from like I want to present myself, but because on Instagram you need people. You cannot post updates on updates and updates without showing anyone. So how would you approach this objection to like having an ambassador of your brand who is like posting on social media and being super active, one of the employees maybe?
I had a case like this, and I feel your pain. So the beginning was hard because they also didn't want to show their personality. The person in charge even said, I don't want to make people rock stars. And so for a month, we were creating content that was, I don't want to say boring, but it was more informational. And as it was a brand new account, you could see that something is not working. People were not loving those posts. They were good, but not loving. Okay. And you can start to sort of to pull what you want from the responsible person and saying, okay, maybe let's check or try something different. I saw that this is working. So you have to sort of like convince them that see what others are doing and this is working. Let's try it as well. And the CEO or the marketing manager will be like, okay, let's try this. Now we have this situation that yes, let's show people. We have to show people. And everyone now is ready to be filmed. Also in the beginning, it was that people were stiff, but if there is this one person that is willing to put the face on, later it's easier to get the crowd around that also would say yes, because, okay, Chris did it, I can do it too. You can convince with data, you can show, see, this post was doing great. We have to do something more like this. And I totally understand that there is this resistance. It's just that you shouldn't throw maybe like the craziest ideas in the very beginning. You should start like calmly and then convince them that, hey, let's try this. And step by step. And the brand will loosen up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. What's the negative thing about just trying one post, you know, with a person, for example? It doesn't mean you're going to do a whole series for a year. You just start with one post, you see how it goes, and maybe that's enough, or you do a couple posts, a couple tests, and then see what happens.
Yes, I think the marketing team needs to be aware that social media in general, it's a tough game and it's a long-term game, but if done well and strategically, it can bring big results. There are so many companies that exploded because of their social media or that they were different. And that's why the market research and checking your competitors is very important to see where you can be a bit different and stand out. Because now everyone Googles you. They may even not go to the website, but they will check your Instagram page or in LinkedIn page and see if you're alive or not alive.
Are you a scammer or not? I think, yeah, it's, that's why if you show people more, people will, you just like the customers, potential customers will see there are people behind this brand, because sometimes I see websites, I don't see any people, and I ask myself, are they trying to scam me? Is this a real entity? You know, so having people there that's more trust, that's more social proof, and it's also very important. You talked briefly about leveraging interviews to create content as well. Maybe you can tell us a bit about how that works, what the process is.
Now will be the moment when I share whole process how we are doing. And I'm not scared to share this, so you can take it as an example later for your own content, that just share everything. People will come to you for the service. But so questions, like interviewing someone and asking good questions, you will get really good answers. And let's say you are a marketer and you would like to build the personal brand of your CEO, and CEO is busy, you cannot get them to write anything, but what you can do is you ask questions, you do the research. Most of the time it actually takes 1 to 2 hours to check what they have been doing, why they built this company, what kind of information they were sharing on their social media, what is like in general on Google about this CEO. And you ask those questions, you try to get this very wide range of things, like why you made this company. And so it's more about the business. How are you different from your competitors? Then you ask about the clients. Ask him also how it is to be a founder. And that will be the TOFU content. And record it. If you can on camera, that would be the best, because then you also have the video and you can use it in repurpose for the content on LinkedIn. But if not, then you will have the voice memo that I am throwing into Slack. Then I get the transcript, and I can use this transcript with Claude AI to see what kind of different ideas I can think of based on the transcript. And because what most of the time people do, they just try to generate something with AI, and the outcome is very bad. But if you have this very good base, then you can use it for having the foundation for your content. Of course, there's the little trick that you should know what good content is, or what kind of hook to write, or that you should have the spacing between the paragraphs and not to put everything together. One idea, one post, and not 3 ideas in one post, like kind of the basics. And from this transcript, you can get a lot of posts, and you can match this information with the graphics or the video or carousels.
Okay, you mentioned interview questions, kind of you ask, okay, about the company, about their story. Do you have any tips on asking questions that will lead to you being able to cover the whole marketing funnel? Because it's easy to focus on, you know, the personal stories that are maybe more TOFU focused, and then you forget about BOFU or middle of funnel. Maybe you have some tips on how to come up with good interview questions that will lead to you being able to produce so much content for the founder or for yourself.
One tip that I can give in the very beginning of my answer is that BOFU, I think, is always easy to make, because we are so used to like how to sell, and we will know what we are selling. We just need to think of the different ways how to do it. About TOFU and MOFU, I would try to ask as many questions as it's possible within this 1 hour, or how much time the CEO is willing to talk with you, and drill and drill and drill to get the juice or the spicy things. I think the most difficult part is about case studies, testimonials, and numbers. That's something that you should be maybe preparing more, or telling the CEO beforehand that you need to get this information to make those carousels, like also about the different ways how you're working. And I am using the questions from the value proposition book. So customer pains and gains, I would base it a lot on that kind of questions to understand the customer part. Because this TOFU content, you will get the personal story of the founder. That's very good. But the customer things will be this MOFU content. As an example, sometimes not only with the CEO, but also with the sales team, because they are the face that is the first one that the customer meets, and they have really interesting questions. Like if you're selling a device, whatever kind of device, in one country and the same device in another country, but you have two different salespeople, it could be that the questions differ even in the country level and the national level. So you have to be kind of like sneaky to ask them, okay, what are the customers asking? Then you get one answer and you have to respond. Like, and that's maybe is this, that you are not only like question, answer, but you dig deeper and you try to think what kind of content you wanted to create or what you have in mind. Let's say you want a case study, then you're trying to scratch this information out of the interviewee.
You ask the founder questions, also like in this case, a founder, let's say, you ask them also questions that customers are asking the company.
Oh, those are the best questions, actually, because customers are so interesting. They have so much going on, and the feedback they are giving. Sometimes, like, I'm even trying to inspire people. Okay, what kind of message did you receive on Slack or in your WhatsApp? Just take a screenshot and share it with us. Share it with me, and I will come up with a story and how to share it online. But that's something like so precious, because this is the information that you cannot find anywhere. And this is the information that we have to get from our head to social media, because that's interesting. Something that you cannot generate with AI.
Definitely cannot generate with AI. Yeah. You have to do the work in this case. AI, if you ask it to, write content, it will give you very generic content that everyone else is talking about. Unless you really have understood the customer pain points, you feed them the customer pain points, you really edit a lot, then you can get something good out of it. I think there is a lot of potential, but you still need to use your brain. I think that's still something we have to do. And it's so easy to try to outsource thinking to a machine. But that's definitely something we as marketers need to resist as much as possible. Just some 2 cents from my side. But moving on to content performance, maybe you can tell us a bit about how you measure success of different stages of the funnel content, and what key metrics you focus on.
There are the basics like impressions, engagements, but I would focus on, you cannot see it on LinkedIn, but on Instagram it's better that you can see how many people saved your content, but on LinkedIn you can see how many shared with it. And let's say you have those employees that don't want to share with your content, or you are not telling them to share with your content, but then you see how many of them did. And you're like, okay, this is good. We didn't tell them, but they shared. I have a customer that is not pressing their employees to do it. And it's a very good measure, like a little bit out of a box. Then comments, how many valuable conversations you're generating. I understand that for the brand account, it's more difficult to have the conversations. But that would be a moment where if the brand is alive and talking with others, and it's also possible on LinkedIn, and a lot of people that I tell this information to, and they're like, what? So when you go to your profile and you have this drop down button, you can just click and change it, not to yourself, but to the company that you are administrating. And you can also add questions and comments to other people and to show the brand. Out of your own bubble or out of your employee bubble.
How much time would you say do people need to engage, to take to actually engage on LinkedIn from the company profile and also from the personal profile? Ideally, maybe there is like a estimate how much effort they should be putting in.
Usually I tell the bare minimum because it already takes a lot of time. So it's 15 minutes before posting, 15 afterwards. So it would be like 30 minutes that you spend per post. Oh, and I remember what I actually wanted to say about how to see the success of a post. So what happens, what people misunderstand, or they are like, oh, if the selfie worked out, we should be doing more selfies. And that's top of the funnel content. Of course, people will like it. But if you only post the selfies and you have this massive love, you won't have leads. And those that are willing to get leads, I would say this is the best thing you should be actually measuring. How many leads you get when you post BOFU. And this is some magic. So I had a month when every time I put BOFU, I had a discovery call. My client as well posted a case study, got a client. The rest of the time those posts are educational or inspiring or engaging. No leads whatsoever. BOFU. And there is the person that wants to have the service. Yeah. And I think that's the best measurement that you can have if there is interest from the right people and not only the engagers for engaging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's a great point again about like you don't have to expect don't expect leads from awareness content. I think still some founders, some marketers, I'm sure they think if it's good content, they should just inquire about our service. But it's not BOFU content. The goals are different. The goal for awareness content or for middle of funnel content is different from BOFU content. And also, yeah, if you give, like we said in the beginning, you will get when you ask, but you have to build this up and give first. Like I was talking to you as well, you always give a lot, and then like maybe 1% is you asking, and that's when you get like the potential clients reaching out and the leads and the conversations about your service because people trust you. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Because the triangle is like this, and the sales poster and the BOFU content is at the very end, and it's the smallest triangle there. So, yeah. I can give like a formula what somebody can do if they are building a brand from scratch or personal brand. So I would suggest 2-3 posts for sure per week. So if it's a personal brand, and then you can go like TOFU MOFU TOFU 1 week. Then you try TOFU BOFU TOFU. And you are making this list and you're checking what kind of results you have. So you don't try to sell all the time or, So you don't go into this salesy mode that I think is the biggest problem. And this TOFU also should be that not only selfies, but something else. And you can have a video, especially that LinkedIn now likes videos.
That's why we're here. And I'm just kidding. But yeah, video content, I think it's engaging. That's why everything is heading into the video direction, which I'm sure a lot of people, us too, like writing a lot and posting video content sometimes, only video content sometimes feels a bit like putting yourself out there a bit in an uncomfortable way sometimes. It's a big step for someone, for example, who has never posted on LinkedIn to start posting videos. I think that's a much bigger step than when I was starting with LinkedIn, and it was just, you post like a few lines about you with your thoughts about the service, and then that's perfect, Now you need to do more, and it's turning more into like the Instagram direction. But we're here for the journey. Do you have any other maybe predictions for the future of LinkedIn, like your ideas, what you're noticing related to that, or any other thoughts to, wrap up our amazing conversation about LinkedIn, where we've learned so much. Literally one of the most educational, podcast episodes I have done for sure. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I'm sending a heart. Maybe the last tip that I can give is to see what is your strength and rely on it. And so if you try to do something that it doesn't come easy or you don't feel comfortable doing it, just don't do it. I see and I talk with my clients and they want I want this fame, I want to have this virality, but I remind them that, okay, stay different, be different from your competitors, show what you're doing, show and not tell only, and stick to what's working for you and not try to, to fake it or to jump into engagement groups, because I understand that algorithm likes comments, but at the end of the day, if you respond 100 comments, but you're not getting leads, then what's the point? So stick to your big why you're doing it. Keep your balance at content creation. That would be my suggestion. And it's a long journey and not a sprint. It's a marathon, but not a sprint. Yes, that's the saying.
Yes, a marathon and not a sprint. I think those are the perfect words to end our discussion. And I'm so grateful for you that you have joined and that you've shared so much of what you know about LinkedIn and content, great content. You are posting amazing content on LinkedIn, and everyone should follow Ilze on LinkedIn and every other channel that you have, because you're amazing. And thank you everyone for listening, and I hope to chat really soon. Stay tuned for next episodes of Marketing Mondays every second Monday. And thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.